2020 to all of our Think Different fans. This is the year you should always be thinking different. Whatever you did last year, forget all that. It's a new year. It's a new life. Welcome to the Think Different podcast. And as I drink a little bit of the bubbly this morning with my mimosa, I am here with, of course, the man who did not go away on this New Year's. No. He stayed home for the first time. It is Vacation Tim. Hello, Timmy.
Hello. Happy New Year, everybody. It was funny. I had a couple people over at my house, and I don't have cable.
I wasn't one of them, by the way. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you so much. You didn't tell me that, by the way. I've just learned that.
It was
right
just my brother
air.
and my sister and their significant others. So I don't have cable, so I just stream everything. And it was funny. I was streaming the ABC, whatever, and do the countdown and stuff like that. And the countdown was 2 minutes behind because it's a stream, so it's not like with real time. So we celebrated at 12 o'clock, and then we celebrated again at 12:02 when my TV caught up.
That's a big flaw to me that you couldn't even do that on New Year's. So there you go. See, one of the downfalls of streaming, watching live television, is not easy.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the downfall. I'm not sure why they can't figure out how to make it the same real time, but hey, whatever.
Well, I was able to celebrate at 12 o'clock. I had a great time. I was dancing. Me and my wife, we had a chicken franchise. We had a shrimp cocktail. We were playing Monopoly. I won, by the way. You know, of course, because I'm the Monopoly master. And then I turned on my hue lights and made a disco room. We were dancing in there. We had our neighbors have some fighting going on. That was fun to listen to.
Oh, man.
And that's the best way to end the night. So we all hope that you enjoyed your New Year's, but now it's time to get down to nitty-gritty. Thank you for understanding that last week, hey, it was the holidays, and not to mention I was super sick.
Yeah.
I'm still not 100% there, so I'm trying to get through it. But we are going to talk about all the Apple products and services that came out in 2019 and what our thoughts are on each part that came out, and that's what we're going to discuss today.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs. Whether it's pro or college hoops, BetOnline has it all throughout the entire college and pro hoop season. BetOnline has up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends you can follow all season long. Follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. And you can follow on your desktop or your mobile device. So head to the website today and become part of the team. BetOnline, the game starts here.
So let's kick it off, Tim. Let's go right away. We're going to do this in order based on when they were released. And our job really is just to say A or nay. Let's first talk about iPads. So iPads, something changed with the iPad Air. The iPad Air added the 10.5-inch with a $499 price tag, and then the new iPad Mini. Finally, the iPad Mini was updated to support the new chip. So I got to tell you, yay or nay on that?
Yay. I mean, you were just updating all the iPads to be basically the same, unless you get an iPad Pro. What about you?
It's a more affordable iPad, but really, I felt like unless you wanted the bigger screen with the faster speed, it wasn't much to me. Even the iPad 5, it's still expensive to get the iPad. It's $399 still, you know, for that Mini. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's so ridiculous. You can get the iPad for $329.
Exactly. Now, of course, it's a space difference. That's why it's more money. But for me, it's like the iPad Mini 5 is a waste. It was just like they had to update it because they were using very old technology. Either you get rid of it or you did what they did. And that's really all it was. So that's what happened then. Then we had the 4K and 5K iMacs, so they refreshed their power line. That's really not much of a difference with the iMacs. It's kind of like an expected change. I'm glad they're doing it. But as far as design-wise, nothing has changed with that.
Nay.
Yep. Yeah. Now, this one was a good one back in March as well. AirPods 2 came out. Now, the AirPods 2 are not the ones we're talking about, the AirPods Pro. We're talking about the H1 chip that was upgraded and had the Hey Siri support. that came with it. It also gave you the option with the wireless charging case. Now remember, back in March, we still thought AirPower was a thing.
I know. Sad.
So as far as the upgrade goes, did it really matter to upgrade to the AirPods 2? Now, I will tell you, if you already had them, no.
Yeah.
But if you didn't have a pair, I would still say it would have been worth it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that sentiment. But I already had them, so I didn't upgrade. Nor do I really care about them being wireless charging.
Next up is the Apple News Plus. So they finally pushed the subscription of Apple News Plus. It was $9.99 per month. They gave it away for 30 days as a trial, and they had all these different, here's the thing about this. Who the hell wants this?
I mean, the people that travel a lot, people that are into cooking, people that are still reading magazines.
Now, I get if you are subscribing to these magazines, like physically, it makes probably more sense to do this.
Yeah.
But it's also digital. Some people do like the paper aspect of it.
Sure.
But also, the idea was that the news was supposed to be done differently, where they would do like very customized, articles, and they'd be more interactive. And from what we understand, some places did that, but some didn't do that. It was just regular like PDF documents, and you had to swipe down.
Oh,
like
that's
so,
awful.
it was just like it wasn't like a more. It had to be a better interactive product. For me, Apple should have said, if you don't make this different than a PDF, don't bother.
Then don't bother. Yeah.
But they were very desperate with the services thing, and I got to tell you, this is definitely a downfall, I think, of their services. Probably the worst one they have right now. For $9.99, it's not worth it at all. I mean, you could do the trial, but I didn't even do the trial. That's how much I don't really care about it.
Yeah, I didn't even do the trial.
Yeah, there really hasn't been much growth. Now, the rumor is, we'll talk about what next week, what 2020 is going to bring. If there's a possibility that they're going to merge all these services together as one service and be able to convince people to do it, I think that's the only way this Apple News Plus is going to go. Or, for me, when we talked about last week with the worst products, when I talked about like Ping as being one of the worst products, this is going to be that.
Wow.
Because I wouldn't be shocked if it goes away, because it just doesn't work. I actually like the News app the way it is. I actually use the News app for everything when it comes to news. I think it's very easy. There's no ads, and for me, it's simple. And I like it a lot. I don't know if you use it for news a lot, but I do.
I have it activated, and I have like the checked magazines and newspapers I like to read. And whenever I get the push notifications, I always click into it if it's interesting enough. But other than that, I'm more of a glancer, very low-level user.
What's annoying too is that they have the Apple News Plus icon on the bottom, so that like permanently is there.
Oh yeah, in navigation.
Yeah, I hate it. I wish it would go away. It's just like taking up room. It's just that part's annoying for me. Now, this was a precursor to what the AirPods Pro was going to be, because we had the Power Beats Pro. So just after the AirPods 2 came out, they came out with this new designed Power Beats Pro with the silicone tip. Now remember, the biggest downfall of what AirPods are is that they fell out very easily. Power Beats Pro is wrapped around the ear. It's mostly used for working out.
Yeah.
And it had a long battery life. Now, it was a lot bigger of a case. It wasn't that small case. But this was like the precursor to what was coming out for the AirPods Pro, was these Power Beats Pros. And this was a positive for me. I actually think that I had the Power Beats Pros where the wire was going around the back, and I actually thought the Power Beats Pro were really good. The Power Beats are really good workout, and they're very good for wearing. So the fact that they made them completely wireless now, which was awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because that was my only complaint, was that wire that would sit on the back of your neck. But now that they're completely wireless, they're pretty cool. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but isn't there Hey Siri support on them now too?
There is. Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty big.
Yeah, the only thing they didn't do, the case wasn't wireless charging, but beyond that, it had everything else that it needed to be. So for $250, it just comes down to, if you're going to use them for working out, I think that's the right option to go with, is the Power Beats Pro over like the AirPods, and that to me is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Now, this was a small refresh, but they did refresh the 13 and 15-inch MacBook Pro. For me, you always have to keep updating it, so really they didn't do anything on there. So I would say it's a whatever kind of launch. It wasn't really a launch.
No, it was like a refresh, yeah.
Just a refresh of upgrading the specs on there. Now this was interesting.
Well, I guess they got rid of the
Good.
non-touch bar models. That was big, right? As Will sips his mimosa.
Yeah. I have my bubbly. I'm drinking my bubbly right now. Getting drunk on the air.
No, they got rid of the non-touch bar models, so that was big, I guess.
Well, we still have what we're going to get to is the MacBook Air as far as having physical function keys. But as far as MacBook Pro, there is no more function keys. Everything's a touch bar.
Yeah.
All right. So the 7th generation iPod Touch came out. So they put the A10 Fusion chip in there. Still had no Touch ID. You know, it's still a Force display, but they finally upgraded the Touch just because they needed to make sure that all these apps work with it and that it could support the iOS. So that to me was the only reason why they did it.
Remember there was a time where they were not going to be selling iPod Touches in stores anymore.
But that was the rumor, though, that was going to happen that year. See, that's why people were a little surprised that they came out with that.
Yeah.
Well, that was a big thing. They had the 256. That was one thing they didn't have before, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember. But
Okay.
You're probably right.
I am right. I'm always right. So I'm Will. I'm always right.
Oh, that's your name?
That's my name. The MacBook Air also got itself an upgrade, and they lowered the price. They started at $999. So that was a big thing, too, that they did lower the price of the MacBook Air, which, of course, I am all for them lowering the price of any computer because, you know, one of the things that Apple falls behind on is price, you know, when it comes to, like, these Chromebooks.
Yeah.
They need to get a cheaper computer. And no, an iPad cannot be a computer replacement.
I beg to differ.
Well, if it depends on the user. Like for my mother, an iPad does everything she needs it to do, and she doesn't need a full-fledged computer anymore. Where my father still needs a computer to do things he wants to do. Use that as an example.
So that just backs up my point.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Okay. Fine. All right. Now here's your favorite. In August, Apple introduced the Apple Card, the very first credit card that Apple came out with. And, of course, the biggest deal was that you get 3% back on any Apple store purchase or services purchased, and it digitally connects to you. And then it came out with that sweet Platinum card that they came out with it, with your name on it and nothing else but an Apple logo on it. So, yay or nay on that?
Oh, 100% yay.
So talk about your experiences so far with the Apple Card. We did talk about someone that I knew that had their number stolen.
Sure.
Which, by the way, has happened since then. There has been reports of that. But, of course, it's very randomly generated that the numbers are stolen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I use it. I have 4 cards in my wallet, but since the Apple Card is labeled as my default card, I use that basically exclusively now. So I use it at ShopRite. I use it at Walgreens. You know, it's accessible basically anywhere. I'm still weary about the fact of using it at a gas station. Apparently they accept it, and you can just give over your phone to the gas attendant, but I wouldn't really do that for people that live in New Jersey. I would do it if I had to pump my own gas. And I like the features in the Apple Card of reminding you of payment and reminding you of you don't have to actually pay the entire card off to incur interest. You have to pay a certain amount of percentage that was on the statement for that month. And they send you reminders via push notification and via email, which is
I just got mine today.
Oh, dude, it was due yesterday.
No, trust me, I'm on top of my bills. Don't you dare question me. Okay.
But it's really nice. You could also decide when you want to pay off the card. You don't have to pick the 31st of the month. You can decide when it's best for you and your pay cycles and billing and stuff like that. So it's really nice, really flexible card.
I remember they added the feature now where you could do iPhone payments in the Apple stores as well. So you do have that feature as well. They added that on. So again, convinces you. And then up till the 31st, they were given 6% back on any purchases made on the Apple Card and Apple stores. So that was actually a pretty good deal too.
Yeah, and then reminder with Uber Eats, Nike, Lyft, they're all giving 3% back if you use the Apple Card.
Yeah, I think that list is going to grow. In fact, I found out that I think Walgreens is part of that.
Oh, really?
That's what it says here
Oh,
on this website.
that's good. I go to Walgreens all the time.
All right, well, you got to take a look because I don't go to Walgreens all the time. I go to CVS.
Ooh,
We're on the
one of those. You like
yeah.
you like the never-ending receipts.
Hey,
Kills a tree.
Hey, those ever-ending receipts give me discounts. So
I guess.
forget you. Hey, every week CVS gives me a 40% off coupon on one item.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so be quiet. All right, so let's talk about software. Of course, every September and October there is a new refresh of iOS 13, iPad OS, Catalina, WatchOS 6.
You mean shit, Alina?
Yeah, Alina. Alina. So this, I will tell you, was a big fail for Apple. This was probably one of the bigger fails of the year because of how many updates we had to do within a month. Probably like 4 to 5 updates for iOS 13. Just a lot of bugs that were going on, and they're, to me, I think they're still going on today. For me at my job, where it took us like 3 months to get a working email set up, it was so bad. And then on top of it, with Catalina, again, a lot of people just weren't ready for the changes, and there was a lot of bugs. Again, same idea. It came out with great benefits like the Find My app, the sidecar, which I think is probably the biggest reason to upgrade.
Yeah.
So use your iPad as a second screen. But for me, this year, other than maybe iPad OS, because that seemed to be pretty good, everyone seemed to be pretty happy with that, and the fact that it offered the USB-C support now with the external devices, and the fact now you could download something from the web and it goes to its own dedicated download folder. I think iPad OS stood out, but as far as every other upgrade, even WatchOS 6 was really not much, but iOS 13 and Catalina really killed a lot of momentum that they could have had, because it came out with some great stuff. I mean, like the video editing features are great, where you can edit videos now and color correct them inside the Photos app, was just really great. They had the new privacy feature with the Sign My Apple, but that never really took off. I haven't really even seen that.
Really the new Find My app, which is pretty nice. So now, like all your devices and the people that you are connected with in Find My People, or Find My, what was it called? Find My Friends. Find My People.
Find My People.
Now it's all integrated into one app, and who knows? We'll probably talk about it next week in the 2020. Rumors of something that they're trying to get down with called Apple Tags.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But
that was a rumor. That was the rumor this year that was going to happen, and it didn't. And for me, I was like, it just seems so weird that Apple would do that. I almost feel like Apple Tags is more like for businesses to use than it is for people to use.
Yeah, you're right.
Also, remember, tvOS also brought the new feature where you can have multi-user support. Now, that was a big thing. My wife doesn't really use, we don't have our separate choices. Everything's under one app. I don't know about you, but I don't really use that feature.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't even know it was a feature.
Yeah, okay, well, there you go. Someone learned something new today. Did you know it had picture-in-picture support, too?
Yeah, I've used that many times.
Okay. Then, of course, September, the big announcement, the iPhone 11, the 11 Pro, and the 11 Pro Max. Now, I have decided that I am definitely getting this Pro.
I thought you already got it.
No, I have a 10S, and I'll be honest, I've had a lot of problems with it. When I'm taking pictures, I'm noticing the quality is not good anymore, and I think that's because the lens is bad. I also don't know if it's my software that could be messed up, but I feel like everything I look at feels like it's almost like the light is reflecting too much, and it's causing a lot of problems with the look. It just looks bad right now. Like I'm looking at it right now, even down here, looking in my basement with some color here, it just doesn't look good. And I don't know if that is just as my wife's 10R looks better than my phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is that's going on, but I've also had a lot of problems, but I have to think it's more so on the software end. In fact, when I get the iPhone 11 Pro, I'm not going to be restoring from a backup.
I was just going to start clean.
I have to start clean because I feel like there's something really wrong, and I think the only way I'm going to solve this, because I was having the same problem from my 10 to my 10S, it's like I got to start over.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not a bad thing to do, honestly. From a tech perspective, it's good to sometimes start over. The good thing is a lot of stuff comes back down. Yes, you have to reorganize your phone and everything again, but I hate to say it, it's worth it. for me. But as far as the iPhone 11 Pro, this was definitely a positive. No one thought this phone would take off the way it did.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be, just a stepping stone to the iPhone 12, and the iPhone 12 was going to be this big hoorah of a phone. But like people love specifically the iPhone 11 because it's affordable. It's got everything you want. People are upgrading now from the shitty iPhone 7s into these iPhone 11s because people can now afford to pay for it. And everyone's doing these monthly installments, and to break out a $699 payment in an iPhone 11 over 24 months makes it so affordable to get a phone that has all the new technology.
And not to mention, you're probably going to trade in value by upgrading that too. So
yep,
look at it like that too. And for me, the idea of adding the wide angle camera on both phones was tremendous. I used someone else's iPhone 11 Pro to take a photo on Christmas break, and I couldn't believe how close I could be with that lens to my face and then seeing everybody behind me. On my camera, it would have been like I had to really reach out far.
Right.
Wide angle, not far at all.
Wow.
Like I was like shocked on how good. I was like, wow, okay, that convinced me just by seeing that wide angle
Sure.
on that phone. So, and they both have it. So the good thing is either phone has it, but the telephoto for me is big because I want to have those close-up shots. So I have to say, iPhone 11 Pro, big time win. Now, what to me was not a win was the Apple Watch Series 5.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of there. I mean,
An unnecessary upgrade. Upgrade. Unless you have like a Series 2.
Sure.
And you
sure.
and you decided not to do the Series 4.
Yeah.
But if you had a 4 to a 5, you have, like, other than the always on display, you got nothing else.
And the compass.
Oh, shut up. Shut up with the compass. Yeah, in case you're in the woods, you get lost.
I mean, for some people, like I know my sister and her boyfriend, they're into camping a lot. And the reason why he wanted the Apple Watch was to calculate the aptitude or whatever it's called when climbing the mountains and the stuff that they go on adventures into. So that's why he got an Apple Watch for Christmas.
So I have a question. What did he have before that?
He had no watch.
Oh, well, that's different. See, that's a completely different thing. So I'm talking about people from going from 4 to 5. If anybody did that, I would love to hear why. I just don't. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me.
What's a game changer that the rumored Apple Watch Series 6 has to have for you to buy it?
It's got to change design.
Like no square anymore?
I want options. If there's one thing that Apple did this year was provide options for everybody.
Sure.
Like you're not tied down to one specific style. So for me, they have to provide options. They have to give me. You can keep the square one, but damn, let's get a circle one in there, man. You know?
Yeah, I've always wanted a circle one.
Right. So let's get a round face. That to me would be a big changer for me to think of, because I personally I'm a guy that has a lot of high-end watches, and I rather have that style than the square.
Sure.
But I get from a screen perspective, it looks better from like as far as more room to work with. And then another surprise was the 7th generation iPad. They decided to upgrade the regular generation iPad at $329, upgraded to a 10.2-inch display. They still support the 1st generation pencil, but they get the price. So that's a win for me.
And you could do the smart keyboard.
Oh, that's right. Yep, the smart keyboard as well. Thank you for adding that tip there, Tim. Appreciate it.
And then
I salute you.
And just a reminder, it's only 32 gigabytes for $329. So if space matters, you might as well get the 128.
All right, and then Apple Arcade. So we did a whole previous episode. We did talk about Apple Arcade and some of the cool games that we like to play on it. We used it for 1 month, and we both decided not to go forward with it. But for $4.99, It gave you over 100 games to play with no ads, and it could be played offline, and it's all part of that monthly fee. So for me, this is still a win. Even though I'm not the guy for this, it's still a win. I do miss my hot lava, though.
I was just going to say, you miss hot lava.
I do miss hot lava.
I think it's a win for all the parents out there who accidentally put their credit card on their Apple account and their kid put all the charges on the inside the games. Because remember,
this is that replacement for that.
Yeah, because remember, with Apple Arcade, there's no in-game purchases. It's all included within those apps. So yeah.
I'm actually checking out some of the games now. No, that's what I was about to tell you. I'm actually checking out. There's something called Ballistic Baseball. It looks actually really, really cool. They got like a baseball game now. Like, there's some new stuff on here that we didn't see before. So I'm just looking through it, and they definitely added a lot on. They have Pac-Man on here now. Yeah, actually, this is really cool. It's like a multiplayer. There's a lot of stuff on here now. So I'm actually pretty impressed. See, as long as we get like again, I told them, like, if you have this one game on there that you can only get on Apple Arcade and nowhere else, you got to win.
Sure, yeah. And I'm sure that'll come with time. There was the AirPods Pro, which Will purchased, and he loves them. And it sounds like he has a story to share, but it might be for another time.
No, it's for today.
Today? Okay. So, but there is a new in-ear design, so it now has a gel fits and the silicone tips inside. So it has this active noise cancellation technology. Comes with the improved water resistance and is $249.
I'm still trying to figure out the ear tips thing. I will tell you, I still have a hard time with the ear tips falling out of my ear.
Oh, really?
Even with the biggest size, it's still, I feel like it's not fitting right. I don't know what it is, but if I'm at a certain angle, I feel like they're falling out. They're not as strong as I thought they would be. So that's one thing I will tell you, that I have to always keep adjusting my ear tips, and I'm learning that as I go along. As much as I love them, this is where I think I might be more of a Powerbeats Pro user than an AirPods Pro user.
Interesting.
Just because of how often I feel like it's falling out.
And because you get that extra support from the Powerbeats.
Right. And you don't have that. And this is where I'm getting like a little confused with how much I really like them. At first I loved them, and now I'm starting to realize, you have to fit them exactly right. And then I'm laying on the bus and the bus is moving, they shake and they fall out. Or I lose the noise canceling specifically. But the one thing I will tell you is that at work I have a wireless charger, and I totally realized, oh my God, I can put my AirPods Pro on that, and they charge while I'm not using it, which is something I didn't realize I could have done.
Yeah, I didn't. So that they come standard with the wireless charger?
Yeah.
Cool. Everyone was looking for those noise cancellation feature, and even that, what do they call it? Transparency mode is...
Transparency, yep.
Yeah, I want to test that out. I'm still itching to get into an Apple store and try out all the new products.
I'm not going to lie. I still kind of like take the AirPods out of my ear, even though people are talking to me.
Well, yeah, because you got to like get used to having that feature, right? Like, you're kind of changing the way you naturally do that.
But I still take them out. I almost feel like I'm still disrespectful by leaving them in my ear. You know, it's kind of weird.
Right, you're right.
You know, that's the weird thing about these AirPods is like, as you start using them for a couple months, I think the buzz is going to go away. You know, that's what I feel like. I feel like it's not going to be this like revolutionary thing that everyone thinks it is. I still think AirPods overall is revolutionary as far as the
100%.
overall what they are.
Yeah.
But I think the buzz is kind of like meh now.
Yeah, because like, at the end of the day, they're just headphones, right?
Right.
So Apple TV Plus came out this year. That happened November 1st. Apple TV's own subscription service of original content. So they had TV shows such as The Morning Show that featured Steve Carell, Jennifer Aniston, and Reese Witherspoon. C, that featured Jason Momoa. For All Mankind, Dickinson, Truth Be Told, Servant, which is a show made by M. Night Shyamalan, Ghostwriter. They're just continuing to add on more and more original content. Will and I have a whole dedicated episode to Apple TV Plus that you can tune into. We just weren't impressed. Him and I both did the free 7-day trial. Watch all the shows as much as we can.
Well, I have it for a year. Remember that?
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yes.
Remember, I have it forever because I'm a student.
Yes. Yeah. He rigged the system. I wasn't as impressed with the content, especially the amount of money that they put in the morning show and how I just wasn't really impressed with. But apparently it's gotten better, I've heard.
Yes,
gotten
apparently
better.
people actually are now saying it's their favorite show from like a lot of websites and a lot of other podcasts I listen to. That the morning show definitely was the better show out of all of them.
Yeah.
And hey, it got that Emmy nomination, exactly what they were looking for.
Yeah, but I have differing opinions on that, and I could share that on another episode.
Well, if they win, okay. Well, we'll talk about this. If they actually win, that's when you share it.
Okay, I like that. Yeah,
because a little bit of the money.
Exactly.
Well, have a little bit of the bubbly.
A little bit of it. So we'll see what goes on and kind of the what's next for Apple TV Plus.
I did finish For All Mankind. I went through the entire season, and overall I liked it. I actually liked For All Mankind. I thought it was a really good show. It got kind of weird towards the end where they didn't really focus so much on the space race, more about the characters themselves. Like the beginning of the season was all about Russia beating them to everything, and then it started becoming more about the astronauts themselves and what they're going through in their different lives. And then the last episode was really good. Overall, I was actually very happy with the show, but it's not like, oh my God, you have to go watch For All Mankind, you know?
So MacBook Pro, they released a new 16-inch model in November 2019. Came with improved speakers, scissor keyboard, so up to an 8-core on a 16-inch, which is awesome. And yeah, so they said they've improved the butterfly keyboard, but do you really think that... I haven't really heard many reviews about the new improved keyboard and people saying anything about it. I'm not sure if you have, Will.
I have. People definitely like it better. There's no doubt about it. It feels... Like some people did like the butterfly. Let's not get this wrong. People did like the butterfly. For me, though, the fact that they have the escape key and the touch bar is raised up a little bit compared to the keyboard means you won't accidentally hit the touch bar, which I do every day, pretty much using my computer.
Oh yeah, like the computer you have now.
Yep. This is a pro machine. This is like a very, very high end, machine. The fact that how much RAM you could put in it, you can have 64 gigs of RAM, 8 terabytes of storage, which is crazy on a portable. This was a win for them this year. They needed a new MacBook Pro. They didn't change the design, which is what I think some people wanted, but the small things they went back to, and they you know what it was? They just listened to people.
Right.
They just listened to say, hey, okay, we got to put the keyboard back. We have to put the escape key. We have to give you a 16-inch monitor. We have to give you the more options for the more RAM, the more storage. So they listened most of the part. But we still have a goddamn 720p camera in that damn thing. I don't get it.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get that either. And so to close out the year, the highly anticipated Mac Pro was released. Be upgraded up to 28 cores, up to 1.5 terabyte of memory. You can have 2 Radeon Pro GPUs in it. You have a bunch of expansion slots. Has this really neat lattice design. Yeah, and you can purchase the Pro display. Additionally,
the XDR.
The XDR. Additionally to the Mac Pro, so it does not come with a screen. Typically with all the other Mac Pros as well.
Or a stand.
Or the stand, yeah. But yeah, it's here, and it's expensive.
Yeah, but it is expensive. But a lot of people now are cooling down on the price of the display, because if you were comparing what's in this display and what's out there on the market, like if you go to B&H and you look for a high-end display, you're looking at $20K for like a really good one, when this could do all that anyway. To be honest with you, I think for me the display is a game changer only because of what could happen next year or in 2021. Think that, imagine an iMac in that.
Yeah.
None of us are going to buy this Mac Pro or this display. If you are, then, talk to me and buy me one. But this is like the coolest, I think for me, this was like the coolest thing, because I watch a ton of videos on this Mac Pro, on this display. It's amazing. It really is one of the coolest. We had, in fact, about 2 episodes ago, we talked extensively about the display in the Mac Pro. In fact, our title was called $52,000 computer,
oh, yeah.
Which it is if you max it out. And there's still more to come, because there's still some things that are not out yet to support it. But it's really, really one of the best designed products Apple came out with. It just looks that good. Now, it looks relatively similar to what the 2012 Mac looked like back in the day, Mac Pro, before they came out with the new garbage
can design.
So really, I mean, it's just been so many years that we haven't had this design that I think we're like really wowed about it. But if they came out with this, back in 2013, it would have been like, oh, it's a nice solid upgrade. But it's just because the Mac Pro was so bad, that 2013 trash can was so bad, that this just makes it look, like gorgeous.
Yeah, and what size is that screen? 32 inches, right?
32.
Yeah, that's just
6K.
That's just epic.
Yeah. So that was our 2019. Overall, Tim, what would you say? Would you give this year a pass, a middle, or a failure?
No, I'd give it a pass, man. Like, we just talked about, give or take, 15 to 20 products and services that were released in one single year. We're talking about Apple News Plus is a new service. Apple Arcade is a new service. Apple TV Plus is a new service. Apple Card is a new service. So these are services along with also product updates. You're seeing almost an even battle back and forth of new ways that Apple is finding to give out to the customers of new evolution and new features and new products and stuff like that.
Yeah, for me, this was definitely a pass. For me, it's a pass. The wearables is a big thing. They really are doing amazing jobs with the Apple Watch and the AirPods Pro, because now you're seeing them everywhere. Everyone is wearing them now. For me, the 16-inch MacBook Pro kind of finally caters to someone like me who's a pro user, who needs that power, who really did not like the 2016 design model that we have now, and that they have the new one that came out. The Mac Pro, which definitely caters to our pros and has really changed the industry. And I think Mac Pro will really be big going forward in the next few years. And I think you'll start seeing a lot of houses starting to utilize it. That new display, again, even though price isn't really crazy and they didn't include the stand with it, it is truly, I think, the bigger winner over the Mac Pro is that display for me. Again, it all comes down to what I know how much these kind of displays cost. So for me, there was more positives. I think Apple TV was great. The Apple Arcade was great.
Yeah.
The Apple Card is great.
Yeah.
They far exceeded that. Their stock has never been higher. Which is great for me. I made a lot of money this year. I made a lot of money this year on Apple stock. Over 10K. Over 10K.
Wow.
So imagine someone who has a lot more stock than I do, what they made this year.
Yeah.
So for me, Apple was very strong this year. Again, this was the year I felt like they finally started listening to their customers. I think they have to work a little bit more on the software end. I think that's definitely something that they have to improve on.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that next time. But this year, positive vibes.
Yeah.
Good job. A good 2019 for Apple. Of course, the year that we're not there.
Yeah, I know, right? Good job, Timmy
because
Cook. Way to freaking delay it all.
Because I will tell you, the last couple of years while we were working there was hell, especially from a retail standpoint.
Yeah, sure.
And not to mention, speaking of Apple stores, all the changes that they made this year in the stores now, where now that when they quote times, they're accurate now. We don't have to worry about the non-accurate times. That they got rid of their headsets now. They're doing everything through an app, which we found out when I visited the stores. Fifth Avenue finally opened back up, and how beautiful that store looks. And you can see our video on YouTube of a log that we did with that. We also check out our app versus app. That's probably our biggest episode that we've done, where we compared maps and Waze together.
Yeah.
Over 1,000 views, which I was shocked that we had that many
awesome.
already. So people like that stuff. We're going to try to do more YouTube stuff for 2020. So for 2020, Tim, what are you looking forward to the most? I mean, and more so in a personal life, because now you're starting your new life in your new home with your girlfriend. You have finally got a couch.
Yeah, we finally got a couch. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that yet. But I guess just more, getting acclimated to my new home and, making my home what I want, like what I want it to be with my girlfriend and everything. And just spending more time here, because this is like the rest of my life in a sense. But yeah.
You think about it now. Now that you have a home, you really don't want to leave it, do you? A lot of
No,
times?
not at all. Like, I'd rather just sit at home and watch TV and not go out. Or like, I'd rather have people come here and drink versus me going out.
Right, and that's why, like last night, we did New Year's in my home, and we had an amazing time.
Yeah.
And we didn't need to spend $50, $70, and that's where I am in my life, where I don't want to have to go out and spend. We did a lot this year. I went to Disney 2 times this year. I got to ride Rise of the Resistance, which is like the coolest ride you'll ever go on in your life. You know, my godson being born at the beginning of the year, which was awesome. And, of course, me and Tara have had our hard times with, you know, we're doing everything we can to try to have a kid, and that's not always working out. So that's been very rough on us, you know, mentally. But we're hoping next year will be a lot better. You know, got to work on that weight this year. That's my big goal again.
There we go.
Every time. Got to work on it. Got to stop eating after 9 o'clock, you know?
Yeah.
Got to stop.
So I guess how I would wrap it up based on like your conversation, well, because you brought up the light of it, is just take time to sit back and enjoy the moments that pass by so quickly. I think that's what I want to focus on in 2020. Because life can go by in a snap.
I'm not going to let any negativity online or politics or anything should never sway you on your life at all and how angry or upset you get. Just let it go, man. Like the 90s, man, we just let things go. It just didn't matter, you know?
Yeah.
Like everything's become so PC and everyone's got to have a side and like just
do you.
Just do you, man. Worry about yourself before you worry about anything else in your life. Everything's great right now. The country's great. You got a home, I got a home. You know, we have 2 great jobs that we got. You know, for me, like last year, I got a whole new job last year, which I had no idea was coming. And, you know, it changed my life now to where we could do this podcast together.
Yeah.
The Think Different podcast came out in 2019, everybody.
That's right. How do we overlook that? But yeah, this happened.
Because we're not bragging about how good we are and how great this podcast is and how me and Tim are probably the 2 best Apple employees ever on earth, but they messed up by not paying us more. So, not just saying. All right. So I hear that music. Time to go. But Tim, make sure you get a good amount of good sleep tonight because, you know, I didn't wake up till like 11 o'clock today.
Yeah. I know.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us for a great 2019. We are looking for a great 2020. And next week, we will talk about what we're looking forward to in 2020. Guys, take care. Tim, go to sleep.
Peace out.